This week, we are going to take a tour of the Chrome web browser. We'll get more comfortable with using Chrome on a day-to-day basis and make sure that you have everything set up so that you can use Chrome to the greatest advantage. Um, so the first thing we want to do is go ahead and open our Google Chrome browser. You'll notice at the top that it is asking me to set as my default browser. Because Chrome works best with Google products and we're all going to be using Google products in our work and day-to-day life, it's best to go ahead and set as default. Now note I am on a Windows 10 computer, so I'm going to go ahead and click on my web browser whenever it brings up this option box here and select Google Chrome from the list. And I want to go ahead and switch. I don't want to try out Edge right now. And then I can close those settings, and then that should be defaulted from here on. The first thing I'd like you to notice whenever you open Chrome is the top right corner up here. Right now, all I have is a little silhouette of a person and a little circle. I do see my face down here. That means that my Google account was signed in to a web page at one point. But because I can see this little silhouette of a person instead of my little Bitmoji icon here, that means that I'm not currently signed into this Chrome browser. And I want to be signed into Chrome. It is very important. I can't stress how much easier that makes your life. Signing into Chrome is the best way to operate in the Google Chrome browser. And we'll see just a ton of reasons why as we go through this video. So the first step is to click on the little silhouette. It says you because it doesn't know who I am. And I'm going to sign into Chrome. For this training, I'm going to go ahead and use the msu.kate email address. And once you've typed in, and you'll use your school domain email address whenever you're on your work computer. Okay, so that password was correct. Excellent. And now it asks me a question. Do I want to link my Chrome data to this account? This is also important. This is the reason that we're signing in, is because we do want to link our data to this computer. I will make a note here that this is going to sign in your Google account and save it for 30 days on whatever computer you're working on. So this is recommended to be done only on your personal computer. If you were to do this in a computer lab or any other open computer setting, you would need to go in and make sure you removed your profile at the end of your time working on that computer. That leaving your Chrome or Google profile signed into Chrome on a public computer leaves you open to all kinds of security risks. They could access your email, everything in your drive, calendar, all kinds of items that you might have saved to your Google account. So I am going to say link data, but that's because I'm on my work computer. And really this is about your day-to-day workflow in your personal work environment. Okay, I am now signed into Chrome. Google is helpfully telling me a few things that will be synced now that I have signed in and synced my data. I have bookmarks, history, passwords. If you're allowed to save passwords to your Google account, those will sync there. Other settings that you've preset will come with you whenever you sign into your Google account in Chrome. And you can also personalize your experience in other ways. You can personalize your search experience. Your ads will be personalized to you, but I'm also going to show you a way to block ads. So there's all kinds of things that will make life a lot easier by syncing this profile to Chrome. Okay. So now at the top, instead of seeing that little silhouette, oh, and I noticed some things are happening right here. And if you notice, it has installed a few little icons here at the top, and then I get this window that says AdBlock Plus has been installed. So what is happening there is that there are some certain extensions, which extensions are what these little icons represent. They are available in the Google Web Store, and they are sort of like little like mini applications that are running constantly on your Chrome browser to make your browsing experience better in some way. Each of them has their own little purpose, their own little job, but just remember, because they're constantly running, that the more extensions you install, the more it will start to slow down your browsing experience. But there are some who actually improve your browsing experience, such as AdBlock Plus. It tells me annoying ads will now be blocked. It's not kidding. Whenever you visit any web page, AdBlock Plus, if you've had that extension installed, will start blocking the ads. Some of them are just the side ads, some pop-ups. But also whenever you go to YouTube, AdBlock Plus blocks those videos that run, those advertisement videos that run before your YouTube video. It also blocks the ads that play between free streaming Pandora radio songs. So it's sort of giving you a free version of the paid experience with Pandora. Now, that being said, some sites don't like to lose out on money. So if you encounter a site while you have AdBlock Plus enabled that says, hey, you have an ad blocker, we'd like for you to disable it, all you have to do is click up here and choose disable. Let me go to another tab that's not ad block and show you what that looks like. Here it is enabled on this site. I just have to uncheck it, and then it's disabled on this one site. So it'll continue to work on other sites, but it's disabled on this one site. I'm going to go ahead and re-enable that. So this other tab that I have open here, and once they've installed, you can just close those tabs at the top. This other tab is about pinning to Pinterest. So anything that I encounter on a web page, any images that I see, will now have this little Save to Pinterest button automatically added at the top corner. So all I have to do if I wanted to pin something is hit Save to Pinterest, and it's linked to my Pinterest account, and then it would tell me to choose which board I'd like to pin it to. And that's handy if you do a lot of social media posting. Here at Kate, we do have multiple Pinterest boards divided up by subject matter, grade level, all kinds of things to help teachers find educational technology for their classrooms. So that is that extension. So I've shown you a few of the extensions that I have. I'm going to tell you now how to get those extensions. I told you they were in the Google Web Store, but how do we get to that Chrome Web Store? The fastest way that I usually get to it is by going to this little apps bookmark here, and I call it the Rainbow Waffle. It's a little 9-grid 3x3 tic-tac-toe board, if you will, but it's colorful. It's up here in the corner. If you do not see this, go over to the 3 dots on the right-hand side of your screen. Go down to bookmarks and make sure that show bookmarks bar has a check next to it. If it doesn't have a check, just click on it once and that will add the check. And then you should see that apps quick link over there in the corner. Before I go over to the apps button, I want to address the fact that my Google account is now signed in. I have my Murray State personal work account along with my Kate department account signed in here. This is not what I would like to have happening. I would like to have exclusively my Kate Murray State account. I can show you in a minute how to log in multiple profiles, but we want to do that at the top level, at the Chrome level, as opposed to doing it within the web page level. So I'd actually like to get rid of that account right now, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do that because I know I'm not the only one who probably has multiple accounts signed in. But just to make it a clean work environment and to make sure all of our stuff stays separated into the account that it's supposed to be in, we want to make sure that we do not have a situation where you will have two different Google accounts signed in within the same window. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and sign out of the entire browser right now just to kind of get rid of it and bring it back in just to get a fresh start. So I went ahead and signed out of my account over in this corner piece, but now I'm going to sign out at the top level as well. And to do that, I'm going to go to click on the name Kate here for me and click on Manage People. And I'm going to highlight this or just kind of hover over this Kate icon, and I'll see these three dots appear in the corner. I click on that, and then I can remove this person. You can see in the short time that I've been logged into Chrome, it's already saved 195 items to this device. So it's going to remove all of those right now just by hitting remove this person. And so now I have a clean window. And note that is not going to delete anything from my Chrome account. Everything is saved. It's not going to delete anything from my Google account. Everything's saved in the cloud. All of my bookmarks, all of my extensions, they're all saved and linked to that Kate.MurrayState, Kate or MSU.Kate account. And I'm not losing anything just because I deleted it from this one physical computer. That still exists out there on the web. But what I want to do now is sign in again and just have it be a clean sign in without any of those extra accounts signed in the corner. And I'm going to link my data again. And it's telling me, of course, everything's coming back. Okay, so now this time everything's happening again. It's bringing in my extensions. It's opening these little installation tabs to give me more information. But you'll notice that if I click on this Kate icon, that's the only account that I have signed in. And that is the way that it needs to be in order just to keep everything nice and clean and to keep our different accounts organized and separated from each other. If I now wanted to add that Jenny Kelly work account to this computer, I would go up and click on Kate. And I'm going to go ahead and say Manage People again. And this time I'm going to add a person. I am not going to give it a name. I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. But then whenever I get the opportunity in this new window to add a person, I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my Jenny account. All right, and I can advance that. Use my password. Okay, so now a little bit different than the department account. My Google account has two-factor authentication set up in the security settings. This is highly recommended. This is a way to protect my account so that even if someone were to hack and get my password, they still could not sign into my Google account without having some physical item that I have attached to my account. You're seeing it's asking for a security key. That is a little USB key that I can purchase and link to my account. I think they're less than $5. But you can also use your cell phone number just to get a text message. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to go ahead and use I have 2 different cell phones attached to this account. I also have an option of doing a backup 8-digit code that I've printed out ahead of time. So if you know you're going to an area where you're not going to have cell service, you can print out a few of these 8-digit backup codes, and they will work for you while you're at that location where you don't have cell service. So Google gives you a multitude of ways to help secure yourself, but this is highly recommended. I'm going to go ahead and choose this get a verification code option. Because this code only lasts a number of minutes, it's nothing that I have to hide from you. I'm going to go ahead and type that in and hit next. And now it's going to ask me to link my data. So it wouldn't even let me sign in to Chrome or anything before I gave them that extra layer of security. All right, so now I have this window that has Jenny Kelly in it. I'm going to go down to the bottom, and you'll notice I now have 2 different Chrome icons. Oh, I lost my little icon there. But if you can see, this one has the little Kate logo, and this one looks like a little puppy dog. Up here, it's my Bitmoji. I'm not sure why it changed on me. Maybe I'm clicking on it too quickly. Okay, so now, because my account has so many different extensions installed, it is just installing all of those extensions right now. It takes just a minute. And I did warn you that installing too many can slow down your browsing experience. Well, I'm not taking my own advice here. I see I have a lot. But really, even with this many, I haven't noticed that it slowed me down. So feel free to kind of install some, play with them. If you decide that you don't want to use an extension later, you can always go back into your settings and go to More Tools and Extensions. And then you can either disable or trash any of the extensions that you have previously installed. So you can keep that in mind as you're testing out extensions to see if they work for you. You can always come back and get rid of them later. Okay, so I wanted to show you that now I have a clean window for my Jenny work account, and I also have a clean window for my Kate account. Now if I go, I can see my extensions are different, my bookmarks bars are different. If I click on apps, I'm going to click on apps in the Kate account. I have these apps available to me. If I go back to the Jenny account and click on apps, I have many more apps that I've installed on my personal work account. If you have more than one page of apps, you will have these little bars at the bottom that you can toggle through, and you can have more than 2. They'll let you install quite a few apps. So the difference between the apps and the extensions is that the extensions, like we said, are running in the background, and they're improving your browser experience in real time. The apps are more like quick links to different web pages and different applications that you need to access. So they kind of act more like bookmarks. They're available here, but they only activate if you click on them. You'll see the Kate one may look more like your apps page. If you do not have any of these apps, you can always add them by going to the web store. The same way you add extensions is also by going to the web store. So I'm going to go ahead and close my Jenny window. Once again, that doesn't remove it from this computer. So now if I look at my Kate menu up here at the top, I can see Kate is here and also Jenny is here. But if I click on Jenny, it's going to open that window again. But it doesn't have to go through that whole installation process because now this account and all of these presettings are saved to this physical computer. So that is why I warned you that security-wise, you only want to do this on a personal computer that only you have access to. If this were a lab computer and someone were to come back in and just see that my account was still signed in, they open that up and they automatically have access to my email, to my Google Drive, and all that contains. They can send out and create items as me, my classrooms, if they wanted to get in there and mess with my Google Classrooms. So that is why it's very important to keep your account secure, and just be mindful of where you're signing in and who has access to that computer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a little tour of the web store now. We're going to click on web store, and you'll see now that we're in a store just like you would see on a lot of devices. You have a search feature at the top. Let's go ahead and look for the AdBlock Plus extension. That's the one that I mentioned earlier that blocks ads on your web pages as you're browsing. So here it is. AdBlock Plus is offered by adblockplus.org. I can tell that this is the one that I have installed because instead of add to Chrome, it just gives me an option to rate the extension. Now there are multiple options for AdBlock extensions. This is the one that I'm using, AdBlock Plus, but if you are welcome to use other ones, I would just make sure that you check on the rating that it has been given by other users, and also the number of users who actually have bothered to give it a rating. So here's an app that has, about not quite a 4-star rating, but it's only been reviewed by 19 people. I would say that's not a trustworthy app. But this is the extensions up here. You can tell that there are different categories: extensions, themes, apps. And so those would go to the different areas depending on what they are. There are different themes for Chrome, so that would affect your entire browser. It would change the color, it looks like, at the top of the window, but this once again has kind of a low rating. And then if you want more information, you could actually click on one of these items and then go to the reviews tab and get more information from what users' experiences were, and maybe why they gave this app or extension or theme a low score. So AdBlock Plus is the one that I've used for years, and once you've added it to Chrome, then it should show up in the top corner and then start blocking ads immediately. It's showing me right now that I have 8 ads blocked on this page, and it is enabled for this site. So another app that I have up there is TabCloud. There are a lot of tab collection extensions, but that's just something that I have found very useful in my day-to-day life. I have a tendency to open a lot of tabs and not get to all of them in a day. And then at the end of the day or at the end of the week, even if I haven't restarted my computer and I need to do updates, maybe I'm not ready to close all of those tabs. So I'd like to kind of save them in a place that I could bring them back in the same manner that I'm looking at them now, without having to bookmark every single tab, because they may not be important enough to bookmark. I just haven't read them yet. So what I can do is go in here and click on, I have to sign in and make sure that this extension is activated. But once I've done that, I can give my window a name and then click save. And then that window would be saved. All of those tabs would kind of be marked there with little icons, and then when I hit the plus sign, it will bring them all back up and my window will look exactly the way that it does today. So I've found that to be very useful. There are a ton of apps and extensions out there, and there are teachers using Chrome, using Google products, and they have made their own lists of the apps and extensions that work for them. And Patty actually has made an extension list as well, and I will share that with all of you through our classroom.